Have you ever wondered why the housing market crashes, and if it will crash again? Our lives are interwoven with the dynamics of the housing market, whether we're homeowners or simply renters. Yet the intricacies of the housing market remain a mystery to many of us. Let's venture into the labyrinth of this economic phenomenon and unravel the enigma of housing market crashes. These crashes, as history has shown us, are not just a tumble in the prices of homes. They are seismic shifts in the economic landscape, leaving trails of financial hardship and economic recession in their wake. Recall the housing market crash of 2008. It was a cataclysmic event that sent shockwaves around the globe. An implosion of the housing bubble, a bubble inflated by risky loans and speculative buying, led to millions of people losing their homes, their jobs, and their life savings. The ripples of this crash were felt far beyond the housing sector, dragging down entire economies and triggering a global recession. But why do these crashes occur? The reasons are manifold. From reckless lending practices and speculative buying to regulatory failures and economic downturns. The housing market is a complex ecosystem susceptible to both internal and external influences. It's like a house of cards. When one card falls, the entire structure risks collapsing. And now we're faced with the million-dollar question: could a housing market crash happen again? The answer is not straightforward. The housing market, like any other market, is subject to cycles of boom and bust. However, the likelihood of a crash hinges on a multitude of factors such as economic policies, market trends, and global events. Understanding the housing market is akin to assembling a jigsaw puzzle. Each piece, mortgage rates, real estate laws, buyer and seller behaviors, and broader economic indicators, plays a crucial role in shaping the bigger picture. Understanding how the housing market works can shed light on this intriguing question. So, let's delve deeper into the ABCs of the housing market in our next segment. Stay tuned. So, what is the housing market and how does it function, you may ask? Well, let's break it down, shall we? In simple terms, the housing market is a marketplace for buying and selling homes. It's like a massive chessboard where each move can significantly impact the game. But instead of chess pieces, we have houses, apartments, condos, and other types of residential properties. The housing market operates on the fundamental economic principle of supply and demand. When there are more homes available than people wanting to buy them, prices tend to go down. This is what we call a buyer's market. On the other hand, when there are more buyers than there are homes for sale, prices rise. This scenario presents a seller's market. But it's not just supply and demand that influence house prices. Mortgage rates also play a significant role. When mortgage rates are low, more people can afford to borrow money to buy homes, which increases demand and pushes prices up. Conversely, when rates are high, borrowing becomes more expensive, demand decreases, and house prices may drop. Economic factors like employment rates and wage growth also have a significant impact on the housing market. When people are gainfully employed and earning more, they are more likely to buy homes. In contrast, during periods of high unemployment or stagnant wages, fewer people can afford to buy, which can lead to a slowdown in the housing market. Then there's the role of government policies. Tax incentives, zoning laws, and housing regulations can all influence the housing market. For instance, a tax credit for first-time homebuyers could stimulate demand, while strict zoning laws might limit supply. All these factors, supply and demand, mortgage rates, economic conditions, and government policies, intermingle in a complex dance that shapes the housing market. They can cause prices to rise or fall, making the market hot or cold, and influencing whether it's a good time to buy or sell. So, the housing market is a complex interplay of various factors, isn't it? Indeed, it is. And understanding these factors can help you make informed decisions, whether you're buying, selling, or just curious about the state of the market. Now let's delve deeper into what could trigger a housing market crash. Imagine a table set with dominoes, all neatly lined up and ready to tumble at the slightest provocation. The housing market, in many ways, is just like that. It's a delicate balance of various factors and forces, and if one of them trips, the others could follow in a swift, unstoppable sequence. This phenomenon, ladies and gentlemen, is known as the domino effect. A sudden economic downturn is one such trigger that could potentially topple the housing market. Just like a gust of wind knocking over the first domino, an economic recession can lead to job losses and financial insecurity. This in turn can reduce the number of potential home buyers, causing demand to plummet and house prices to drop. The domino effect doesn't stop there though. As house prices fall, homeowners might find themselves in negative equity, where the value of their homes is less than the amount they owe on their mortgages. This can lead to an increase in foreclosures, further depressing house prices and exacerbating the downturn. Another potential trigger that could set off the domino effect is a drastic increase in mortgage rates. Higher mortgage rates mean higher monthly payments, making it more difficult for people to afford to buy a home. As demand for homes decreases, house prices may begin to fall, setting off the same chain of events we just discussed. And let's not forget the role of sentiment in the housing market. If people believe house prices will fall, they may hold off on buying, leading to a decrease in demand and a potential drop in prices. This too can set off the domino effect, leading to a housing market crash. So you see, whether it's an economic downturn, a spike in mortgage rates, or a shift in sentiment, any one of these could be the gust of wind that knocks over the first domino and sets off a chain reaction. A housing market crash is like a domino effect. Once one piece falls, it can set off a chain reaction. So the million-dollar question is, are we on the brink of another housing market crash? A question that seems to be on everyone's lips. The answer, however, isn't as clear-cut as one might hope. Let's delve into the indicators and expert predictions to see if we can untangle this complex web. Firstly, let's talk about the housing market indicators. These are essentially the vital signs of the housing market, giving us an insight into its health and stability. You see, when house prices rise faster than wages, it's a red flag that a correction or crash could be on the horizon. And right now, in many cities, we're seeing this gap widening. Now, let's talk about supply and demand. In a balanced market, there's enough supply to meet demand, keeping prices stable. But currently we're seeing a shortage of homes on the market, leading to higher prices and fiercer competition among buyers. This imbalance could potentially trigger a market correction. But what do the experts say? Well, opinions are divided. Some forecast a slow and steady cool-off, while others warn of a sharp downturn. The truth probably lies somewhere in between. Economists remind us that the housing market is cyclical, with periods of rapid growth followed by slowdowns. They suggest that what we're seeing now might just be the market's natural ebb and flow. However, it's also important to remember that the housing market isn't immune to global events. Economic shocks, political instability, or even a pandemic can all have a profound impact. And with the world still reeling from the effects of COVID-19, there's a level of unpredictability that we simply can't ignore. So, is another crash looming? The signals are mixed and the experts divided. But here's the key takeaway: it's crucial to stay informed. Knowledge is power, and understanding the indicators and predictions can help us navigate these choppy waters. While we can't predict the future with certainty, being informed allows us to be better prepared. So do your homework, keep an eye on the market, and remember, the housing market is a marathon, not a sprint. So how can you, as a potential home buyer, navigate this complex market? Navigating the housing market can often feel like trying to find your way through a labyrinth. But fear not, there are ways to turn this maze into a straightforward path. And the key is preparation and knowledge. Firstly, arm yourself with as much information as possible. Research is your best friend. Understand the history of the housing market, its trends, its highs and lows. Look at the macroeconomic factors affecting the market, like unemployment rates, inflation and interest rates. Dig deep into the local market that you're interested in. What are the property values? How have they changed over time? What's the supply and demand like? Secondly, understand that buying a home is a substantial financial commitment. It's not just the mortgage payments. There are property taxes, insurance and maintenance costs to consider. Make sure you have a comprehensive understanding of your own financial situation and what you can afford. Remember, just because a bank approves you for a certain mortgage amount doesn't mean you should max that out. Thirdly, seek expert advice. A real estate agent can provide valuable insights into the local market. They can help you find properties within your budget, negotiate prices, and guide you through the purchasing process. A financial advisor can help you understand your financial commitments and the implications of different mortgage options. Lastly, be patient. The housing market is a beast that doesn't move quickly. It takes time to find the right property, to negotiate the right price, and to secure the best mortgage. Don't rush into a purchase just because you're afraid of missing out. Remember that the housing market, like any market, has its ups and downs. Buying a home is a long-term investment. Don't be swayed by short-term fluctuations. Keep your eyes on the long-term prize. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to navigating the housing market.